Hello again and welcome back to the channel. This is Michael from TOEFLresources.com. In today's video, I'm going to show you a way to use ChatGPT to study for the reading section of the TOEFL IBT test. Particularly, I'm going to show you how you can use it to generate these really powerful vocabulary lists. You know, I've always said that the real secret to getting a high reading score is actually understanding the articles that you read. You can have all of these strategies or tips or tricks, but if you don't understand the words, you're not going to get a high score. So for that reason, I think this video could be pretty useful to most of you. So what I'm going to show you today requires a few things. First of all, you need a ChatGPT account like you see on the screen here, and you also need a TOEFL reading passage. I've taken this one from the ETS website because it's free. I'll post a link in the video description down below. And not only do you need one reading passage, but as you continue to study, you're going to want more and more and more. Now, the good news is there are many great sources of these. They're all over the internet. Again, I'll link to a few of them down below. There's free ones, there's ones you can pay for, and so on. But anyways, for today's activity, we just need one. And I like this one a lot because it's based on history. That's my favorite TOEFL subject. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the whole article, and then I'm going to go back to the ChatGPT window, and I'm going to tell it to read the article. So let's give it some instructions. Please read the following article. Now you'll notice when you ask ChatGPT to read an article, it's automatically going to give you a summary of the article. You don't need it for this activity, but it produces it, so that's fine. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I don't want to waste all your time showing a long summary being generated. All right, so the summary's done. Now ChatGPT has read the article. It has that information. Now next, I'm going to start requesting vocabulary. Now, as you experiment with ChatGPT, you'll notice that you need to be really specific when you make requests. If you're not specific, you're going to get the wrong stuff. You're not going to get what you want. So try to narrow your requests as much as possible. So here's what I'm going to request very specifically. Please make a list of 40 words from the original article I gave you, which are uncommon or specialized. They must all appear in the original article. Now, I really emphasized that they should appear in the original article because the first few times I tried to make this video, it was giving me words that were not in the article. It was just like, hey, I'll give this guy a bunch of uncommon words because that's probably what he wants. So I'm being as specific as possible. Let's see what it produces. Okay, so it's giving me some good words. I think they're all in the article. All right, so it's got some words here. I think they're all in the article, although I could be wrong. Metropolis, I know, is in the article. That's a challenging word, right? Edifices, that's pretty challenging. I know that's in the in the article. Mesoamerica, that's a good one. Ingenuity, foresightedness, circumstantially, highlands. These are pretty challenging words. Now, you'll notice that some of the words are not very challenging, like, power, grid, maybe, potential. You could narrow your request down to 30 words. You could fine tune the request to take them out, or you could just manually delete them later on when you're making your vocabulary list. I'll leave it up to you. The other thing you'll notice is sometimes when you ask for words, it gives you phrases like positive feedback, natural disasters, labor force. I think that's fine. But if you don't want phrases, you can tell it, I don't want any phrases, or you can take them out on your own. So the great thing is we've got these 40 words, but we're not finished, right? We're going to continue this ChatGPT experiment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select 15 of them. And I'm going to ask it to give me more stuff. So I'm going to make another very specific request. How about this? For the following words, please provide a short definition and a short sample sentence. Now, let's be more specific for each of the following words. And then I'm going to paste them in. Now, the reason I'm not asking for all 40 is that I believe ChatGPT has a limit to the number of characters or the number of words it can give me in a response. And if I ask for all 40 definitions at one time, I think it will fail. But anyways, so I've made my request. And now it's just giving me what I wanted, right? Metropolis, a large city, usually the most important city in a region or country. Example sentence, New York City is considered the metropolis of the United States. That's an okay definition. Edifices, large buildings or structures, then it gives me a sample sentence mentioning the pyramids. Predominant, having the greatest influence or control. Most common or frequent. Example sentence, the predominant religion in the country is Christianity. It's giving me a definition of highlands, which is a geographical term. It's even giving me a definition of the Olmecs, which was an ancient civilization, I hope. And, I mention I hope because you'll notice when you get into this, sometimes ChatGPT is wrong. Like, you do need to be careful. But for the most part, I think for this sort of activity, it's correct and it gives you good information. So anyways, I've got 15 words now. So what am I going to do? Well, obviously, I'm just going to copy them. And I've got this vocabulary list document, and I'm going to paste them all in there. And now I've got 15 words I can study, in the days and weeks ahead. And hey, let's kind of continue. Let's do a few more before we finish the video. Let's start with prosperous. And I'll get a bunch more. I don't know how many that is. I think that's 16 words. So let's make another request for each of the following words. Please write a short definition and a sample sentence. And then I'm going to paste them in. And there you go. Now, in this case, it's actually giving me definitions that are related to the article itself. That's, that's good, I guess. But if you don't want that, you can specifically say, don't make the definitions related to the article itself. That's fine. And, you can tweak these requests however you like. Maybe you want 2 or 3 or 4 sentences. You can make that request. Maybe you want definitions or sample sentences that are very long, right? Like, so that they look kind of like a TOEFL reading passage. Well, you can make that request as well. You can just kind of get whatever you want. That's the power of the technology. But in any case, I'm going to paste it in there, and now I've got more words. Now that's just one article. What you want to do is every time you study with a TOEFL reading passage, you want to do this. Like in the past, we would use the TOEFL practice test. We would do the reading, we would answer the questions, we would check our responses, and then we would throw it away and we'd move on to the next one. That was the old way of studying TOEFL reading. But now that we have this AI technology, after we finish practicing with the test, we can really kind of mine it for more valuable information. We can get like everything possible from it. So, I want you to do this again and again and again. And then I want you to refer to these vocabulary lists again and again and again. You're studying, you're memorizing words, you're expanding your academic skills, and in time you're going to get a higher score on the reading section of the test. I promise you, this technique, studying vocabulary, this has always been a valuable method of preparing for the test. And now you can get really perfect vocabulary, like the best possible vocabulary. And you can see it on the screen here. And as I said, some of it you might already know, so you can just kind of delete it. Like, I get it, right? Like some of these words, if you're really high level, you already know, so you don't have to keep studying them. Now, you can use this same technique with stuff that, comes from magazines or textbooks. Like, you don't have to just use TOEFL passages, but sample TOEFL reading articles are so common, they're so frequent, they're all over the place that, I think that you could just stick with them and you'll like almost never run out of material. So keep that in mind. And I will mention that like I'm going to start creating these lists myself, to share with my own personal students, but I'll also start uploading them to the website so everyone can read them. So, you don't even have to do this yourself right away. You can probably find a few in the, in the link I'll put in the video description down below. And hopefully you're watching this video like a couple years in the future after I've already created dozens or hundreds of these lists. Anyways, I am going to leave it at that, but if you have any questions about this, please leave a comment down below. If you have found like better ways to use ChatGPT to the same effect, please leave a comment down below and tell me how you used it. What were the requests you made? What were the queries? I can't wait to find out what you discover. And hey, if you do make your own vocabulary lists, share them. Send it to me by email. I'll share it with everyone else. Put it up on your own website and I'll link to it. That'll be really cool. Now, I'm going to keep going with ChatGPT experiments, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. The next video, I think, is going to be even better. I'm going to try to turn ChatGPT into your TOEFL reading tutor. I'm going to give it some articles. I'm going to give it some real TOEFL questions. I'm going to see, can it find the answers? Can it teach you why the answer is correct? Can it teach you why some other answer is not correct? Maybe ChatGPT is going to put TOEFL teachers out of business. We'll see. So check back in a few days or maybe next week for that video. In the meantime, take care, guys. I will talk to you later.